that's why we...
And should I talk so that we can test the audio for the online audience?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is it going through?
30 másodpercek későbben.
Azt tudjuk-e, hogy van-e?
Kimentek egy kicsit a képből, légy, és akkor beállítom, hogy...
We can wait a little bit to check if the audio is going through, so we can start the talk. Good.
Yes.
So, hello, welcome everyone. It's nice to have you all here. Since we are delayed a little bit, I don't know like if the agenda is to like finish at 1 or we run a little bit later, but also we have a workshop at 2, so I'll try to like finish maybe run over like 5 or 10 minutes, but I'll try to like keep it on time, close to 1. But probably I have like 50 slides, so.
That's fine.
But I like talking, and so I'm Naoto Hieda. I'm working as a junior researcher at Tallinn University, and I'm here on behalf of Modena project, which is organized by Tallinn University, including these amazing collaborators, as projected there. It's a Creative Europe project initiated by Tallinn University, Nuno Correa, who is my supervisor, and today I'm going to give you a brief introduction to what Modena is. But before that, because I'm here and I'm presenting, I also want to talk a little bit about myself. So, okay, I think it waited too much that my computer needs to warm up a little bit, but I am artist, also I'm a researcher, and today I'm taking the hat of a researcher to present Modena. But also I have my artist practice as a net artist, performing artist, and I make weird websites embracing non-linear narrative, and also print things that is connected to my net art practice. And also I perform with my body. This was a project I will also touch a little bit later, because this was created through this Modena residency with Jorge Guevara last year in the cycle 1 of Modena, and this year we're in cycle 2. So I'm not performing this year, but I'm presenting as a junior researcher of this project Modena. And before talking about what Modena is, I want to give you a brief history of dance and technology, because I think it's always good to pay respect to who's before. And also, it's very like particular topic of dance and technology, or even like dance and AI or movement in AI, that Modena is focused around. So I think it's good to like give you a brief introduction, like why is it relevant, where did it come from my own perspective. And before going to I don't know, beginning of 20th century that we'll touch a little bit, I want to pay tribute to Daniel Pinheiro, who passed away in January this year, who is an inspiration for me, who worked a lot with internet art, with performance. For example, this was a session we had at the end of last year where we met 15 minutes on Zoom, no talking, just listening to each other's noise. And this was the practice we did a lot. Even before COVID lockdown, we had this practice. He organized it, co-organized it with Annie Abrahams and Muriel Piquet. And this was the last session we had in December. So this really inspired me to work with internet performance, or distributed performance, and I just want to have a shout out to Daniel. And when it comes to dance and technology, we imagine something like with visuals and motion tracking and so on, but it, in a way, it started way before we had digital technology. For example, this is Loie Fuller in, like, the photos is in 1902, and she used this costume as an extension of her body to augment, like almost like creating like visuals, like not with the projection mapping and so on, but with like this wind, light, and the movement to augment, with the costume to augment the movement. And also, like, in the 60s, they're already like actually like digital technology or like kind of technology brought in the scene of the theater. And in this 9 evenings, they collaborated, for example, like Joan Cage, Lucinda Childs, Deborah Hay, Steve Paxton, Yvonne Reyna. This is the photos by Robert Rauschenberg, and they collaborated with Bell Labs. And there's like it's really interesting documentary on YouTube. You can like look for 9 evenings, theater and engineering, and there's also like documentary where it's really funny because they talk about like technology failing on the stage, and it's still pretty much relevant nowadays, and we're like, it's been like 60 years almost, and we're having all the same problem. So I really highly recommend to check it out. Sorry, I didn't put the link because I think it's not like a legal upload, but also what I heard is the documentary, the company created the documentary bankrupt, so there are only like 2 recordings or a documentary of the 9 evenings. So you cannot find all the 9 evenings, but you can find 2 of them. But it's quite easily, you can find it on YouTube, so I highly recommend. And that was in the US, and also like I want to like highlight something happening, for example, in Asia. I'm from Japan, and not that because I'm Japanese, I practice Buto, but Buto is like one of the quite like well known in contemporary dance scene. And it started in the 60s and 70s, around that time, by one of the founders, Tatsumi Hijikata. And sometimes like it's kind of misunderstood, like people think like Buto is like some kind of like traditional Japanese dance practice, but it's not. It's like avant-garde movement started in the 60s. And what's really fascinating is that they move from this kind of like images, and they teach the dancers, apprentices, like how to move, but with just with words. And the way they created the choreography, like for example, this is the scrapbook by Tatsumi Hijikata, and yeah, he basically like finds these like artworks from magazines and makes scrapbook annotation, a lot of annotation, talk about like what this movement is about, and so it's really like counterintuitive to like, for example, Laban notation, where it's like coded, like highly like coded language through like body parts and levels and so on, but it's a very like conceptual way of notating. And if you're curious, there is also online version of Buto notation that you can find on this link. It's made by one of the apprentices of Buto. And of course, like this kind of like annotation is really like relevant in the like contemporary dance scene. For example, this is William Forsythe, and this project Synchronous Objects. It was made with Adobe Flash, so you cannot run it anymore, but the idea is that they try to like code what movement triggers what other dancers' movement and so on, and they visualize it using like kind of AR, but it's like drawn afterwards. It's not like real time. And this like also inspired like other artists. Like William Forsythe, he created this organization called Motion Bank. The idea of the Motion Bank is just like the slide before, to visualize the idea behind choreography in a way that is not like just about choreography or like just about the dance performance, but using alternative media like AR or Adobe Flash or like websites to annotate and to show the ideas behind it. And the Motion Bank's mission was to curate other artists. For example, this is Deborah Hay, and she commissioned her to create new piece, and the whole like documentation, the scores, and also the reflection of the choreographer, reflection of the dancers, and so on, are available on this website. Sorry, I didn't put the QR code, but you can find it from Deborah Hay, Motion Bank. And Motion Bank is still active. They have like different mission right now, but they still like work on the idea of like annotating movements in dance. Now I will steer a little bit to like technical direction. Nowadays it's really easy to like track bodies just with the camera. Before it was like you need to buy specific cameras or specific sensors and so on, and it's still relevant. But if you just need to get like low-fi like data from the webcam, you can use like for example PoseNet, and there's like a brilliant tutorial from Dan Schiffman. You can just watch it on YouTube, and probably easily you can create it on your computer. And one of the like applications, or how to say, like how they used PoseNet body tracking for dance application is this is also like interactive example. You can see it on the Google Experience, Living Archive by Wayne McGregor, and you can like interact with your computer, your webcam, and track the body, and it shows relevant movement from this like big corpus of like movement collected, or the recording collected from Wayne McGregor's previous choreography. And also this is like kind of technology is relevant on the stage performance. For example, this is 11 Play and Rhizomatics and Callum MacDonald, and I think it's called Discrete Figures, and they augmented the space with the projection and translucent projection screen and so on, and they're like capturing the body in real time and using AI to generate new movements and project it on the space in real time, so the audience can see both dancers and the generated choreography. With this one is with dots and lines, but also there's like one part that has an avatar that shows up in a big screen. It's a backdrop. And of course, this is kind of driven by research, where this body tracking and choreography generation is happening. This is just one example. I just wanted to like highlight that since we're coming from the research field or academic field, this is like highly relevant. It's not just about artistic or like entertainment, but there are like researchers in the background working. For example, especially this is interesting because they are like combining like Laban effort. So it's not just about like generating random movements that looks cool, but something like based with the idea or like the research in dance. So I think we have like now like why, like idea of like why it's relevant to like work with movement and AI, not just a sense of like using this technology to augment performance, but to touch the concept of the choreography as well. By the way, MODINA stands for Movement, Digital Intelligence, and Interactive Audience. This is the team and also the artist. We had a meetup in January in Lisbon to have a kickoff of the second cycle. We invited 5 duos and also the representatives of the 5 collaborating dance centers and 3 academic collaborators, like institutions. MODINA's aim is to expand the creative possibilities for contemporary dance performances and augment the experience for the audience using digital technology. So I talked about the AI part, but also there's this idea of like including audience, like how can we make it more participatory using technology, and with an emphasis, so in AI and audience interaction. It's co-funded by the EU in €1 million, led by Tallinn University, and with these amazing partners across Europe. And the idea is that we have 2 cycles, which one cycle is like almost like 1 year, and we repeat this twice. And sadly, there is no more like new cycle coming up, so there's no open goal. But right now we're running the showcases to show the result of the outcome of the residencies. And basically we have this like 2-day kickoff, like also this was the previous kickoff from the cycle 1, and we get to know each other, the other artists and partners, and the artists who are selected have 8-week residency in a dance center. For example, Truffle, they hosted Ruth Gibson and Bruno Martelli in March. And they had opportunity to have academic mentorship, which is basically us supporting, mentor, but also like kind of having like different roles, supporting like technical development, but also like being there to like talk about dramaturgy and so on. And yeah, so after this whole residency of 7 weeks, they had the premiere in the dance center and tour, which is the showcase that is happening right now. So they're unfortunately not coming back to Truffle, but other artists who did residency elsewhere are coming here. I mean, we already had 2 showings yesterday, and next week we have a Hollow Baby, which will be shown as an outcome of the residency at Kinoshishka. And yes, so the cycle 1 was last year. We had 91 submissions, and only 5 duos were selected. And we had a kickoff in Tallinn, and 5 residencies, 5 showcases, which is the same structure this year. And coincidentally, we had also like 91 submissions this year, and again 5 duos selected. And this was for example, the process we had when we came to visit Ruth and Bruno in March, and we did some kind of collaboration, technical development, also like brainstorming together. So, as I said, the residencies are over. So what we have now is that the performances, they are going to be shown in the showcases, and also the showcase comes with a seminar, which is what's happening right now here, to talk about Modena, but also we had like input from Tavid as a workshop, and also after this I'm giving a workshop to give like different kind of input. And like a direct outcome is that we have videos of the performances, which is not like the full length videos are not shown, but cycle 1 videos, cycle 1 artist performances, they are online, and I will probably have QR code somewhere later, so you can check it out. And we also have publications, because we work as an academic institution. We work like our direct outcome is academic papers. So we study the process, and we write about it, we report them, and also the software development, which is not just for the performances, for the sake of the performance. I mean, this is the direct like the reason why we create software. Is we're not like software company, but we create software for the performances. But also we try to make it something that other people can use or try it out. So it's one way of like including audience, for example, like online, or someone who found the project interesting like later, and if they want to like try it out, the tools are open source, so they can find it and run it on their own and do something with that. So we have 10 projects, 5 projects from last year and 5 projects from this year, and I will just quickly go through. I thought about showing the video, but I think you can watch it later if you're interested. I put the QR code in the end that goes to the YouTube link. So this is performance Eugen from Christine Bonancia and Chris Stigler. They created this like avatar of Christine herself, and they use the motion capture in real time that affects the avatar, and then they have kind of duet between them. This is Sarah Fadili Ali and John Sullivan, performance called For Patricia, so it's quite, I mean, it's not really self-evident. It's a tribute to Trisha Brown, and inspired by her choreography, they created kind of pattern generated by AI, and it's not shown in this photo, but there is like a prompter, like big monitor that they are like looking at, and the audience cannot see, and it shows this next score, and they're following the score that is presented by, generated by AI. This is Simona Diaconescu and Grigore Buloiu, how it's pronounced. They had the residency at Truffle, last year, and they created the performance collective cadence, which is how to say, like reference to mass dance, and they used like different AI models to like talk about, to approach the topic of mass dance, like history of mass dance, through large language model, and like using AI to process the history of it and hallucinate and have this critical perspective on like how to use AI. And also they used rhythm detection, which like is more like a sound perspective. They use this kind of model to, for the audience to create rhythm and generate new rhythm that connects to the mass dance. This is Celia Betone and Max Levy, and also Celia is part of Cosa Mentale, which is a duo of Celia and Louis Cortes. And they created Temporal Spaces, which is an installation piece that people can walk in, and their movement is tracked by infrared cameras, and their movement is compared to the bank of all the movements that were like done by the previous participants, and the one that is similar to what you just did, so the movement will be like projected sequentially with the abstract figure of the body of yourself. And this is myself, the last performance in the cycle 1. Jorge Guevara and myself, Naoto Hieda, we did a performance called, I have to read this, Stage for Digital Contagious and Networked Bodies and Code++. We had the residency at Kinoshishika in Nagara, and we used live coding, which is like as a practice to do some kind of coding, computer programming on the spot, and we're like dancing with the visuals. But also we had some kind of like improvisation, and also we made like stand or like a kiosk where you can, participants can also interact, and using AI to generate live code so that the audience members don't necessarily need to know how to code, but they have the experience of like generating visuals and morphing their bodies on the spot with the computer. Now, this is Still Moving from David Jansen and these guys. And this is a part of the, what is called Hell in Human trilogy. And with the VR glasses, you can see the text in the space that you can interact, and probably you all know, the audience here already tried it, so you're already familiar with it. And it's really fascinating, like how like people share, like I think it's a kind of meta level that not just you have like a virtual representation, but the audience members outside the VR space can also experience in a different way without looking at the VR space. And also, like David was mentioning about working with different spaces, not co-located together, but what happens, we're like doing this here in Budapest and in Germany and Tallinn at the same time and sharing the same space. So it has like really a lot of layer to it. And this is Nino from Ruth Gibson and Bruno Martelli. And they did the residency here at Trafo. They used the Skinner releasing technique to generate movements from like a prompt. So like from the, not with the AI kind of prompting, but prompting body to move. But at the same time, they also used AI to generate, I think the Midjourney, to generate kind of avatars, representations, like really abstract, and they mapped the movements that were generated through Skinner releasing technique to these abstract avatars. And in there, they had the performance here, but also they are touring with the installation version that it's almost like a video game. You can like navigate through and explore different worlds and different movements. This is also probably like you're familiar. We had the showing yesterday by Marko Milic and Uroš Krčabinac, I don't know how to pronounce, Gateless, and it's about, inspired by the idea of like robbing a bank, fooling the AI system, surveillance system, by like not walking as a human figure, but how can we like trick the AI, fool the AI so that it does not detect as a human, thus it's gateless. And it was really playful, it was really nice to experienced that yesterday here at Truffle. This is Unreal by Pierre Godard and Liz Santoro. And in this performance, they created like a virtual avatar that is like a double of Liz herself through the body, like capturing the body and synthesizing it with AI, also capturing the movement, and it's also like a critical investigation to the use of AI. And at last, this is Holo, Victor Seri and Tamas Par, and also Yura. They made this piece called Baby, which was developed at Kinoshishika, and they will be showing this next week at Truffle, so please check it out. They created like Avatar, again, Avatar, which is a baby of these three artists, and like a symbolic way, and it's like a reference to what they have been doing as a collective for 7 years. And I heard that there was like a lot of development since the premiere, so, and also it's a local artist, so I really wanted to see it, but I have to leave before they show at the Truffle, so I'm really jealous that maybe some of you can see it. Okay, so those are like a quick run through of the 10 projects, and you can see that there are like a lot of like variety of projects. And at the same time, during the showcase, we're not only showing the performances, but also we have, for example, artist talks. This was from last year. We invite, so in one showcase, we have 3 duos, and for example, in this case, we had all the 3 duos talk about the use of AI in the performance that was at Tanzhaus, I think. And also we, like depending on the venue, we give workshops. Like for example, today we're doing this, and also yesterday we had a workshop by Holo to kind of open up the practice of the artist and like to include, not just like to teach what we do, but also to include local audience to have like sense of community through workshopping. And also like more like a traditional type of lectures that also we do it in a seminar, like I'm doing right now, but it's a little bit meta because like I'm presenting the Modena itself. Yeah. So if you're curious, I put this link here. So this, I think this goes directly to the Modena YouTube channel. So if you're interested in like specific performance, or to have like also there are like teasers and so on. So yeah, please check it out. And there will be more videos upcoming after the showcases are done. We will have the videos from the showcase and also the seminars as well. Okay, so now we move on to the kind of other type of outcome, which maybe like not like the star, but they are also like super important, because what we do is not just about creating performances. That's more like a traditional way of like residency programs, but we also have like different output, like software. For example, this one is created through the residency by David and Liz, and is this actually like something like app that you can download, I guess, or not? Okay. But it's like a concept of using the, so it's the same, similar system, but instead of using the VR glasses, you can try it out with like AR feature of the phone and to see through the space with text. And also, this is from our project, I forgot what it stands for, SFDCANBAC++, stage for whatever. We created some open source projects, and like I said, like audience members can do some kind of like live coding without actually like coding. So you can just like click things and like build some kind of like visuals that's online as a web page. So you don't even need to download. You can just like check it out, and you can try it on your computer, or maybe even on your phone. And now also like we do research as academic institutions, and one of the, there are like 4 papers, I think. One is already published, which is the one I'm going to talk about first, and there are also like 3 other papers in press, and there will be like hopefully more coming up. And the paper we already published is basically during the kickoff meeting that I mentioned earlier. All the artists from the cycle gather, and we organized like a workshop or some kind of focus group where we talk about like a specific topic. For example, like what is the use of AI in your practice, or what is it like audience interaction in your practice. And the paper we published is about basically analysis of the discussion around the use of audience interaction, how we can use that, how we can include audience interaction in the like dance performances. And also my former colleague William Primet, he was working on entrainment, and basically he created this kind of like sound installation, or like an interactive sound like instrument almost, that reacts to this elastic, which is, I have the cheat sheet, but I don't know, it's called, yeah, Fighting Monkey. That's the company, the dance company, who created some kind of like a practice ball, a Fighting Monkey practice ball, which has this kind of like elastic thing, and the sensor attached to it creates sound in space, and he studied the use of that through the workshop. So he was like giving workshop with like movement practices, and then after the workshop he interviewed people who participated, and the analysis is going to be like published soon at TEI conference next year. And finally, I want to talk a little bit about my practice, and also like in terms of research. So I talked a little bit about my artistic practice, but I also work as a researcher at Tallinn University in the frame of Modena, and also this is connected to the workshop I'm giving soon in like 1 hour here at Truffle. And basically I offer these blank cards that people can fill in for ideation, and what's special about it is that you can upload it online afterwards, and that creates some kind of collective memory that you can see what people created in the past, and that feeds to the next participants of the workshop. And it's quite like open-ended, so how I'm doing using it in the workshop is that I prompt them to create these cards, and we kind of mix them together with others, and we create some kind of collective journal in a way. But also, like, I tried all different approaches. For example, in this one, we created some kind of a map or like a terrain where the cards live, and also in other occasion, based on the cards we created, we made a short video which we posted on YouTube Shorts. And for example, this card reads, we ran out of, the title is Karaoke Dream, because we talked about specifically about dream, and how, like, what are your like memorable dreams, and we created like a few cards, like me and other participants. And this one is created by myself. We run out of time and are supposed to leave the karaoke box. Next group of customers joined us, and soon the security breaks in. So like we were like kind of dragged out of the karaoke room. That was just like the dream I had some years ago. And in this picture you can see that Alexa, who like I was working with, she was like dragging me through the corridor. And we had like, I don't know, 2,000 views on YouTube Short, which is kind of interesting. And yeah, so that's kind of like so this kind of thing, like I've been doing as a like next step of the workshop. We're not gonna film anything during the workshop today, I think, unless like you're like super interested in this topic. But I'm hoping to like have a series of workshops so that it's not just like one-off like 1 hour to create cards and that's it, and say bye. But to have like follow-up, maybe like online, to create something together and generate like, I don't know, short videos, or it can become some kind of other like output, like net art, which I'm really interested in. And also, I don't know, it can be like a stage performance, who knows. I'm personally like, interested in like how people create dance and how like we can support or maybe like interrupt or intervene through the use of technology in a non-traditional way. And yeah, that's why I'm creating these things. So that's like a really like quick run through about the Modena project and also like how that relates to the performances created and also research we've been doing and also my personal practice. And if you are curious about the Modena project, if you want to know more, you can find the Modena website here, modena.eu. And I can also take some questions if you have. I don't know if there's anyone online, but also you can just type in the chat so that we can answer. And also, if you are curious about my practice, you can find my website here. This is my artist portfolio, and intentionally I put it at last so I can show it like at the end, not like instead of showing Modena website at the end. I don't know, just being sneaky a little bit. Okay, I'll have a sip of water so you can think about the question. And probably like as an artist, you wonder like, is there gonna be the next open call? That's just like a question that's just I generated right now. And sadly, we're finishing the Modena project at the end of, no, not at the end of this year, but like March 2026. And we only have like one cycle, and like, no, 2 cycles, cycle 1 and cycle 2. So we're wrapping up, we have these showcases, and that's the conclusion to Modena, but there will be like more things happening, maybe from Tallinn University, and also I'm myself, like I'm doing this research that hopefully I will start to do some kind of like online activation or like meetup, some kind of thing. So if you're interested, please let's keep in touch. Yes, maybe you can talk to the microphone somehow, or I can repeat.
You can repeat. Why did you leave Jugend out?
Why did I leave Jugend out? I think it was there. It was the first one, actually. There.
Eager eye.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So they worked with like an avatar, and I think it was not like really like using like AI in a sense that they're like generating movement, but it was like also like obviously like part of like motion capture system. So that's like the take that they did. And I think also like I forgot about it, but in the performance they start with like projecting the avatar on her body, so that it's have this kind of like uncanniness to it, yeah. And if I just continue, like actually I knew their like creation before they applied for Modena, and I just like bumped into them when they were doing the residency at Doc 11 in Berlin, and I was helping the documentation of their like really like initial process before they even like submitted to Modena, I think. Yeah, it's just random things. I mean, like also like we can watch the performance if like a teaser, but I think anyways we only have like 3 minutes. I don't know if there's like any comments online, if there are anyone online actually.
There is, but there is no comments.
Okay. And also like I maybe I kind of skipped, but we work like all the artists apply as a duo so that they complement their skills. And some of the duos, they are like applied as like one choreographer and one like digital artist, but also like some of them have like interdisciplinary background, like you have a background in theater and also like technology. Myself also, like I'm kind of between them, and it's really like a pleasure to work with like diverse group. We had, I think, a really interesting mix of artists, and also the outcome is really like diverse in a sense that last year it was just like one project was the installation, but I think this year it has like more like diversity in terms of like how they show the performance. So it's not just like frontal and you just watch and just clap, but you can like actually try something, which is like the big part of the audience interaction, so that you step into the performance almost, and or like in the case of like Still Moving, you like almost like the audience is the ones who create the performance.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we don't have any more questions, then we can wrap up. And in 1 hour, if you are present here, we have in the studio, we have a workshop with myself making cards, finally. And next week, we have a performance by...
It's this week, it's the end of this week actually. And Sunday.
Ah, yeah, it's true. It's already Monday, so it's a Sunday, so it's the end of, yeah. So in like 1 week, but in 6 days, we have Hollow Baby, which I highly recommend. I'm really sad that like I will miss that performance, but I heard that it's gonna be like amazing with a lot of guests. And what else? If you're watching online and if you're in Bucharest, Düsseldorf, Tallinn, Ljubljana, you will have a chance to visit the showcase in like this month or in January. So please check out Modena website, and yeah, and I will see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye. Sorry, it was like it was in the end it was for like online audience. But I have my YouTube channel, so that's why I have this kind of like habit to say it. I know it's still online, still live.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.